three-man rush. Now, so many Giants around. Pass intended for Jackie Smith. And now, look at Ken Parker go. And we've been expecting it all day. It was just here, and you knew it. And there it is, folks. It's like an ugly boil. It was bound to go, and it has gone.
Well, hello. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to check out this video, and welcome to the Gridiron. Before I get started, I just want to say thank you so much to everybody who's been watching my videos. Maybe subscribe to my channel, maybe give my videos a thumbs up, or left a comment, or anything at all. I greatly appreciate it. I'm just trying to get my channel up and running. Anything you guys can do to help me out, I greatly appreciate it. So thank you so much. I saw on Good Morning Football, they had Logan Ryan on, and they were talking to him. And one of the things that really stuck out to me was that he was willing to run through a wall for Joe Judge. And he asked him, he said, like last year, about this time last year, he's still looking for the team. And the Giants came a calling. And I said, what made it, what made it the right place for you? I mean, because it takes two to tango. I mean, you give somebody a call doesn't mean they want to come work for you, So I mean, it takes two to tango. So, but he said it was pretty much from the organization, and on down, and obviously Joe Judge. He said he had a good, honest conversation with Joe Judge. That was huge. And when it was all said and done, he had Coach Judge's respect, and he had Judge's honesty. And he just felt like he was I'm willing to run through a wall for the guy. Now it was kind of like when Judge talks, he looks right at you. There's no dodging the questions or nothing. There's no no, he looks right at you. No BS. And an article I read too, Judge kind of says the same thing about Logan Ryan as well. He just looks right at you. He just gives it to you straight. There's no BSing around. It's all honesty. And that's huge, and especially to get somebody with Logan Ryan, who's got 2 Super Bowl rings on his fingers. Okay, to get somebody like that to come over here, that's absolutely huge. He won the 2 Super Bowls after the 2014 and the 2016 seasons. Obviously, that's where we met Joe Judge at. Joe Judge was in New England from 2012 to 2019. All right. Now he also helped get Adoree Jackson here, because Adoree Jackson and Logan Ryan were both on Tennessee. And getting Adoree Jackson here is huge, because now we got 2 cornerbacks, 2 good solid cornerbacks for the first time in maybe forever. So that was huge. And also, last year he signed a 3-year extension, so we got him here to the end of 2023, which is phenomenal. And then also, he played his college at Rutgers, so he's up in North Jersey. He's right up there. So so I mean, it just feels right, especially for him too. Also, he said, sadly, on Good Morning Football, they were talking about how last year after the Tampa Bay game, he said he was getting some treatment after the game, and he got a message from his wife that she wasn't feeling well, or she was having problems with her stomach. And Logan was talking to one of the Giants trainers. I'm not sure who it was though, but he recommended that she go, 'cause she's pregnant, that she go to the emergency room, and good thing she did. Long story short, I'm not going to drag it out, but sadly, they lost their baby. But if there's a bright side to it, they saved his wife's life. So I mean, that was huge. Then after the game was over, I'm sorry. After all of that, was over. He wasn't sure if he wanted to play the following week or if he wanted to play any more that season or anything. So he wound up talking it over with his wife and Joe Judge as well too. And that's where he had Joe Judge at his back. But it wound up being where he was talking over his wife, and his wife was like, well, he wound up playing, obviously. But she's like, go, you bring home two footballs, 2 game balls. And that he did. He forced a fumble. The next week we played the Redskins, okay? And he forced a fumble in the beginning of the game. I believe he said it was on the first play of the game when we were on defense. And we recovered the ball. And then to help seal the deal, he had an interception to help end the game. That was his only interception all year. And so he was basically playing for his wife and the child that they lost, sadly. So he brought home 2 game balls. He brought home one for his wife and one for his... they were going to name the child Ozzy. So apparently they brought a game ball home, I think, for Ozzy as well, too. So that's why he had the 2 game balls. But that was a very, very touching, very moving time for him, Now, his numbers last year just weren't, like, off the charts, okay? His defensive, the PFF grades, okay? His numbers weren't off the charts. His defensive grade was a 64.1. His run defense was a 67.5. His tackling grade was a 65.5. His pass rush grade was a 64.6. And his coverage grade was a 60.8. Okay, so not phenomenal numbers. One thing I did notice was that in the beginning of the year, his first 8 games, okay, he gave up 24 completions. He had a couple games in a row, back to back, when we played Dallas. First time we played Dallas, he had 7 balls thrown his way and he gave up 6 completions. Then the next week, when we played Washington at home, he had 9 balls thrown his way and he gave up 8 completions. So he gave up 14 completions in back-to-back games. So he had a little rough stretch there, especially in the beginning. But one thing I did notice was that the first 8 games of the season, he gave up 24 completions. The 8th game of the season was Tampa Bay, after his wife had the miscarriage and all everything. So the next week we played Washington. So from Washington on, there was 8 more games. He only gave up 13 completions the whole rest of the year. So I don't know if the motivation of losing a child or whatever really got him going or what. But the second half of the season, he played, I can't say far better, but he gave up a lot less completions in the second half than he did in the first half. But the thing is, it's like, what he has is that, he's got the 2 rings. To get somebody with his experience, is priceless. I mean, especially for the Giants. We're looking for a Super Bowl, right? It's been 10 years since we won the Super Bowl. I mean, you start forgetting after a while. It's like time starts slipping by. It was 2011. That was 10 years ago we won the Super Bowl. We've only won 2 Super Bowls in the past, including this year, 2021. In the past 31 years, we've only won 2 Super Bowls. So, I mean, we got 4 of them, which is fine and fancy, but we've only got 2 in the past 31 years. So, we can use all the help and experience and knowledge we can get. Now, the one of the things that's huge for him is his experience. He was obviously at the end of practices, he was breaking down the guys and giving them a speech and all that stuff and everything, which is huge. He's big in the locker room. He's a fantastic teammate and all of that and everything. And the defensive backs that we got, we have a nice little flavor there of some young, a couple, nobody really old. The oldest one is Logan Ryan. He's 30, right? We have nobody over 30 years old. Everybody else is in their 20s, all right? We got, Sam Beal, I don't know if he's going to make the team. He's 24. James Bradbury's 27, all right? He's like the second oldest guy. All right, then you got Darnay Holmes is 23. You got Adoree Jackson's 25. Isaac Yiadom's 25. Rodarius Williams and Aaron Robinson, the 2 rookies. Rodarius Williams 24 and Aaron Robinson's 22. All right, I got Montre Hardage. he's 24. Then you got Madre Harper, he's 23. Julian Love's 23. Xavier McKinney's 22. Jabrill Peppers is 25. Then you got a couple other guys. You got like Quincy Wilson. I was noticing on the depth chart there, he's 24. Jarren Williams is 24, and Joshua Kalu is 25. So, we got some, a couple rookies, couple first, second, third year guys and all and everything, So, but we also got, a little flavor of some old. I mean, like I said, Logan Ryan, James Bradbury, Adoree Jackson, and Jabrill Peppers. This is going to be his 5th year as well too. So we got, we got some experience, not a boatload of it, but one thing you can say, which is nice, is we don't have, it's not like a lot of guys we got to just start letting go because they're too old. But the thing is, which is huge, is with Logan Ryan and his experience and his knowledge, what he can bring. We're not maybe paying him so much for what he's going to wind up doing on the field, okay? Because as you saw last year, he had better years. But I mean, what he did last year was mediocre. Okay, it wasn't in the 40s, it wasn't in the 50s. All his numbers were in the 60s. If they were in the 70s, that would certainly be a lot better. But they're not. But he's getting paid for his ability to play, but also what he can bring to the team, what he can bring to the locker room and all. And as I said, he had the one interception last year. Okay, and it was a huge one. But the team that we got, the defensive backs that we got, the cornerbacks and the safeties, I just rattled off 16 guys. Now, I don't know if we're going to be keeping... There's 53 guys on the roster. You got a punter, a kicker, and a long snapper. So now, basically, you got 50 guys left. Now, if you keep 25 on offense and 25 on defense, all right, if you got 6, say, defensive linemen you're going to keep, because we got the 3-4, so if you're going to keep maybe 6... That brings down to 19. I don't know if you're going to keep 7 or 8 linebackers. So we're going to keep 11, maybe 12 defensive backs, the cornerbacks and the safeties. So, I mean, you got James Bradbury, Darnay Holmes, Adoree Jackson, possibly Isaac Yiadom, or Darius Williams, and Aaron Robinson. Those two almost for sure because we drafted them, okay? Then you got Julian Love, Xavier McKinney, Jabrill Peppers, and Logan Ryan. So those 10 guys there, almost kind of locked in. All right, so you said you got Sam Beal, who knows, Madre Harper, Quincy Wilson, Jarren Williams, and Joshua Kalu. Those guys, so we might be keeping maybe 1, maybe 2 of those guys. We'll have to wait and see. But, I mean, we got a lot of quality up and down the safeties and the cornerbacks and all and everything. So this should be a pretty special year for the Giants. Now, don't go thinking that the Giants are going to wind up setting all kinds of interception records here, because that's not going to happen. The Giants' interception, the best the Giants ever did was in 1951. They picked off 41 balls in 12 games, which was 3.42 passes per game they picked off. So the Giants ain't touching that record this year. The most ever, was San Diego Chargers, all right, in 1961. They were the Los Angeles Chargers in 60. Then they went to San Diego, and now they're back in Los Angeles, whatever. But anyway, in 1961, the San Diego Chargers picked off, in 14 games, they picked off 49 passes, which is 3.5 passes a game. But the most ever per game is the 1943 Green Bay Packers, all right? In 10 games, they picked off 42 passes. They picked off 4.2 passes per game. Absolutely phenomenal. So don't think the Giants are going to come anywhere near that. But, I mean, if they can get, half of that 41, which the Giants had in 1951, that won't be too bad. I mean, I could see 20 or 21. Wouldn't be too bad at all. Now, as far as running through a wall, for Joe Judge, that just goes to show you, what type of, coach Joe Judge is. Now, you got a lot of guys out there that want to bash Joe Judge because he hasn't won anything yet, or, he does silly drills and stuff like that. Some of these writers want to seem to bash Joe Judge, but a lot of what I'm hearing is there's a lot of guys out there who don't mind playing for Joe Judge. And to me, that speaks volumes. Well, as always, guys, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to check out this video. You guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo!